Hey, welcome to the May 31st Father, Son, and Only Sport NFL show. Almost to June, everybody. I'm G-Man. There is T Money. What's up, T?
What's going on, G? You know, we're getting back into the groove of things. We got a few interesting topics now. The football's starting to catch some steam. We're almost into June, so it's just about to turn that clock into football season. So excited to get back at it.
I can smell the football in the grass right now. Hey, a big story coming into this year is how about these two guys behind me? Can they repeat this year? Chiefs beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, win their third NFL championship. Can Reed and Mahomes go back-to-back?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. They should be heavy favorites. We'll get into it a little bit later, but they make one move, and T-Money's going to guarantee it.
Oh, nice. Well, right now the Chiefs and Eagles are, I'm looking at the DraftKings odds to win the Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs and Eagles, man, to go back again. Bills and 49ers are right behind them. And then we got our Bengals. And I wanted to ask you about those Bengals because they're fifth, as I just mentioned, to win the Super Bowl, T-Money. They got T. Higgens kind of sitting out there. What do you think? What should they do with him? Should they keep him or trade him?
All right, so this is what we're going to do, and I think it's a bad idea. The Bengals are clearly going to sign T. Higgens and sign Ja'Marr Chase. This is a horrible idea. You cannot pay two guys over $22 million each. Ja'Marr Chase might get $30 million a year. Like, we can't spend $52 million a year on two wide receivers. No team in the NFL does that. The Chiefs just won paying 0 receivers over $10 million a year. So I'm really nervous about spending this much in wide receiver room. I think we should trade T. Higgens. I think you could get a first, late first for him, and someone will pay him. I think the guy's a great option. He is a phenomenal 1B, right? He is a really, really solid guy. Now, shout out to my Uber driver. I told you I would mention this on my podcast. If you're listening now, all right, this is for you. He told me an amazing idea, and I love this. Please, Bengals, if you're listening, anybody, please do this. Sign T. Higgens to a reasonable contract. $22 million a year for a solid receiver. Mike Evans, you know, he's in that class of like 1B guy. And then when you need to sign Ja'Marr Chase, you go get a treasure trove of assets for him. Could you get 3 first rounds for Ja'Marr Chase? Could you? You play out the contract. Hopefully you can get this year or next year into the Super Bowl and win one while you still got both guys and Chase on a rookie. And then you trade Ja'Marr Chase.
I don't like that. No. I
love that idea.
I don't like that at all. You're trading away a guy that's just elite level.
I know.
For something that could be.
But you got to have long-term looks when you got QBs like Mahomes and Burrow.
Yeah, I know that. I agree with you, and I appreciate the idea. But no, man, Chase is just too special. He's elite. He's maybe the best in the NFL. I would not give him up just in hope to get a draft pick.
The Chiefs just did it with Tyreek Hill. The Packers did it with Devontae Adams. This stuff happens.
But keep in mind that the Chiefs have Travis Kelce.
That's true.
I mean, Travis Kelce is he's a wide receiver. Yeah. I mean, the guy's amazing.
What would you do?
Well, I tell you what I would do. I would trade him.
Yeah.
I looked up the top 7 wide receivers, top paying guys, wide receivers, and most of those guys did not even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, so that idea that you pay for 2 top guys or even 1 top guy and make the playoffs, most of the teams, most of these guys at the top did not make the playoffs.
I know. That's a great
Tyreek Hill makes $30 million. He's number 1. You know, and we got Devontae Adams for the Raiders, number 2 at $28 million. So you see these guys, DeAndre Hopkins from the Cardinals is 4, and Cooper Kupp's or 3, and Cooper Kupp's 4. So the only team that has done it or done it well, there's 2, the Eagles. A.J. Brown's the 5th highest paid wide receiver. So they have
quarterback. That's the key there. They had a rookie salaried quarterback. So now it's going to be interesting.
Rookie salaried second. No, a wide receiver 2 is a rookie.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they weren't paying their quarterback yet. So that helps paying your receiver.
Well, but also the wide receiver's under a rookie deal.
Yeah.
So if you got a wide receiver under a rookie deal, you could pull off paying that, right? But here we got the Bengals with 2. Both of the guys are going to be coming out of their rookie deals.
Horrible idea. I don't know what the Bengals are thinking here. I hope that that's what they're thinking, because right now it looks like they could be signing T. Higgens and then look to trade him next year before they pay Chase. So that's another option there. I just think before you pay Chase, you got to trade one of them. You can't pay 2 top-tier guys, like you said.
Yeah, I say trade Higgens. He'll be a wide receiver 1 for somebody.
For sure.
And but keep investing in that line, man. They have already put an offensive lineman in there, a new offensive lineman. Their defense is ranked 6th in the NFL. They're number 4 in the NFL in win margin. Yeah. So these guys have got a lot of the pieces. So, plug those holes and go after it.
Love it. Well, let's move on to another team that's getting a lot of notoriety. Aaron Rodgers just signed with the Jets this offseason. I even think he reworked his contract or after traded there, but basically chose to go there. Reworked his contract to help out the team a little bit. They're bringing in all of his buddies with Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard and, some of their old offensive linemen. Well, is it Super Bowl or bust now for these Jets after all this hype, G-Man?
Oh, Super Bowl or bust. No way. This is not Super Bowl or bust for the Jets. They're going to be excited to make the playoffs. I mean, these guys make the playoffs, the place will be going nuts. And that will be considered a great season. They were 7-10 and finished in last place in the AFC East. And Buffalo's going to win that AFC East. So someone else, who's going to get the wild card? You think the Jets? I mean, the Jets make the playoffs. This would be a major accomplishment. Miami's in that division. New England, they're going to have to get past them to make the wild card. This is going to be tough for them. So no Super Bowl or bust. Yes, maybe in a few years, but you got the Kansas City, the Bills, and the Bengals, all in the AFC.
Ravens.
They might be the 4th best seed behind that group at best. I mean, if you look at the odds to win the Super Bowl, they're up there. The Jets are up there. They're like, what are they? I just looked at it. They're 2-4. They're 7th. They're 7th.
This is interesting because I agree with you. This team is not Super Bowl ready. Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked like a Super Bowl quarterback in a decade, especially in the playoffs.
Right. He's unproven as far as I'm concerned at this age.
Exactly. And had his worst season in a long time last year. I agree with you that the expectation should not be Super Bowl or bust. The problem is their head coach, Robert Saleh, says, well, we're one of the top 6 teams in the NFL, so we're in that Super Bowl bubble, so that's what we're looking at. And then Aaron Rodgers comes in and in the press conference says, I want to hoist the Lombardi trophy. Like, let's pump the brakes, guys.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes. They're putting unneeded pressure here. When you come into the Jets, all you got to say is, look, I'm trying to become a playoff team. The Jets have the longest playoff drought in NFL right now of 12 years. They haven't made it since 2011, almost double the next team. All they need to do is make the playoffs, like you said, G, and everyone's going to be happy. Just make their team relevant. But they're over here hooting and hollering that they're a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
They need to slow down here.
Yeah.
Right? Their elite running back is coming off an ACL tear. Their wide receiver room is very young. Aaron Rodgers has been rocky at best in the playoffs and didn't play well last year. The offensive line is questionable, and defense always fluctuates year to year. You can't rely on it to be top tier every single year. So I'm really concerned about this team. I'm leaning towards they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
well, it's going to
that's a crowded AFC. So be careful, Jets. Stop talking that talk and just reset expectations here.
Yeah. Well, I know the fans are so excited there. Jets, Jets. Send me a Jets out, all you Jets fans. Come on, man. I know they're pumped up, and I love that they got that excitement going. Rodgers, don't break their heart, man. Don't pull a Russ going to Denver Aaron. Don't pull that Russ move and flop. You better come through for those Jets fans, Aaron Rodgers. Come on, man. Hey, speaking of the West and all of the Western Conference teams, hey, the Arizona Cardinals out there, they're out there rebuilding team money. Parted ways with their coach and their general manager, which we talked about all last year. We said that should have happened earlier. They finally did it. They finished 4-13. Now they release DeAndre Hopkins team money. So where do you think DHop should go now? Where do you like him?
I think there's a clear-cut answer. And
I got a great answer. I can't wait to tell you mine.
It's the guys in your background, the Chiefs.
Woo! Okay.
They have no elite wide receivers on their team. They got a lot of rookies, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, these young guys.
Yeah.
He will be the clear-cut number one, easily over 1,000 yards. They're the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and they did it without a receiver. If he's already made $114 million in the NFL, he doesn't need another $20 million deal. And look at what Juju just did. He went and signed an incentive-based deal and then got a long-term deal with the Patriots. You could do that too, D-Hop. But you want to finally go win. You've been on the Texans and you've been on the Cardinals and you want to win and you want to play with an elite QB, go to the Chiefs. And if he goes to the Chiefs and him, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes stay healthy, guaranteeing a Super Bowl right now. Guaranteeing.
There's your move you were talking about. Okay. Well, hey, I like that pick. I got a different pick, but I do like the Chiefs as a spot for him, and I think that would be a good fit. So I support that. It depends what your goal is. Do you want to go get a ring? That'd be a great move. You could possibly get a ring. But do you want to do something else, D-Hop? Do you want to help a team go get a ring? Can you be the reason that they win the ring? And that's why I have somebody else for you to go visit that you said you liked. You said you liked the quarterback, and that team is the Chargers. Ooh. I think that's number one. You can help them get a ring. They have $13 million in cap space, plenty of cap space to pull the deal. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are injured and out of that game a lot.
True.
So you can really fill in, plug a hole, and compliment those guys. I think that's the move, man. I think the Chargers are the one, and he likes playing for. He wants to play for Herbert.
That's a dark horse. Would never thought of it. Would that be the best wide receiving room ever? I mean, genuinely. Like, that might be the best wide receiving room ever. And they got Quentin Johnson from TCU also coming in that they just drafted in the first round. So that would be a hell of a wide receiver room. I'm skeptical about the move because I just think that it's already so crowded. Like, you might have to trade away Mike or Keenan if you're going to do something like that, which I'm not opposed to. I think that would be awesome, but it seems like a dark horse place. I want to mention the Bills here. I'm a little interested about the Bills, right? I think the Bills are mainly doing this to keep him away from the Chiefs. That's kind of what I've heard rumblings of, is they're both fighting for DeAndre Hopkins so that they don't go to the rival of the Bills or the Chiefs.
Yeah.
With the Bills here, I don't know if I'm D-Hop, I want to go there. They already have a solidified number one in Stephon Diggs. They have Dalton Knox. They just drafted Kincaid out of Utah, who's basically a wide receiver. They got a pretty, they're going to start focusing on the run game. Josh Allen runs a lot of touchdowns in. I just don't know. Gabe Davis is kind of their long down the field guy. I'm really not sold on him there. Like, I know he wants to be a number one. Now, if he wants to go be a number two option, number three option, I think go to the Bills because you could be the reason they get over the hump. But I'm not sold on his fit in Buffalo yet.
And you might know the contract. I think the contract is because he's $30 million a year, or he's $27 million a year. I mentioned to you he's number three in terms of pay per year, $27 million. But my understanding is if someone does pick him up, that the Cardinals have to pay the net difference between what he's offered and $27 million.
They might.
Is that true?
Well, that's if he's picked up off waivers. If he's fully released, that he can sign a new contract outright.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's gonna have to give up on that. I guess he's due $30 million in 2023. He's gonna have to give up on that.
Yeah, they have to pay him his money no matter what. That's already solidified. So that's why I do think he could take a smaller deal so that he could get, because he's still getting paid by the Cardinals.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So yeah, that's a good one. Everyone's also rumbling about the Browns because of because of Deshaun Watson. They played together in Houston. That would be a great move because they already have a good run game.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper's always been this, like, are you a number one receiver ? Those two on the field at the same time with Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson gets to the level he once was in Houston, that would be a hell of a team. That would be Myles Garrett on the defense with Ward in the back. Like, that's a move that gets you over the hump and into real contention. So I'm not opposed to that move. They already have chemistry from the past. I really like that move. I would like that. I would like to go to Cleveland more than I would the Bills if I'm DeAndre Hopkins. So I love that move for both sides. I really think it gets them over the hump.
Okay.
Well, let's move choices. On to, I want to talk about the 49ers for a minute, okay? They got a lot of QB controversy. Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy was their guy. Now Trey Lance is taking #1 reps in training camp right now. He's their guy that they spent 3 first-round draft picks on. He's just been injured. He was handed the keys last year, but got injured, didn't get to play. So what are your thoughts on Trey Lance? Should he be the starter? Is he going to have a big year? Where's your head at on this whole Trey Lance debacle? Do they trade him? Like, what do you think? What's in line for Trey Lance this year?
What's in line is he's not going to have a big year, and he's not going to be the starter. And they're going to be lucky to get anything for him in a trade. This guy is a flop. He's not going to work out. He hasn't worked out, and he's not going to work out. He's not the starter. They've already said Purdy is the starter. So he's the starter, Brock Purdy, the 7th-round pick. And the 49ers make this ridiculous trade back in 2021 to move up to number 3 to get Lance. And he's hardly even played. And they give away multiple first-round picks to go get this guy at number 3 overall. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks because of that. And Jimmy G starts the first year when Lance was a rookie. Then Lance gets hurt, suffers a broken ankle in week 2. He doesn't play the rest of the year. Purdy comes in and takes over, and he's already been announced as the starter. This Lance is over, man. He doesn't even have good stats. He's completed 55% of his passes when he has been in there, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he's supposed to be this big runner. He's only run for 55 yards in 8 games. Nope. This guy's done, man. Forget about it.
Yeah, so I'm not ready to call this guy a bust yet, but it's trending in that direction for sure. I do feel bad for him because that San Francisco team last year was ready-made. You saw Brock Purdy, who I think clearly can play in the NFL. But in any other system, I don't know, because Kyle Shanahan makes quarterbacks. He's just such a good play caller that I think Trey Lance could have done something similar towards the end of the year after another year under the belt, playing time, yada, yada, yada. I'm a little sad for the guy because he just got injured too much. Obviously, he sat out his rookie year like most rookies do. Patrick Mahomes sat out his rookie year. So I'm not concerned about that. And now Purdy came in and he earned it. He just went to the NFC Championship game. So, of course, Brock Purdy's going to be the starter. Like, he earned that. Now, Trey's going to go take it. And I don't think that it's not winnable if he's crazy good in training camp, especially with Purdy injured, with that Tommy John surgery. You just never know. So I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. Look, if I'm teams, I'm calling about him. Like, if I'm the Raiders, with all the Jimmy G questions you have, do you go spend a 2nd-round draft pick on Trey Lance?
Yeah, but what are you gonna
in the wings?
What are you gonna pay for him if you go get him?
2nd-round draft pick.
And then you think San Fran will give that up after they?
like you said,
After they gave up all those first-round picks to get him, they're going to give him away for a second-round draft pick.
Okay, well, just have him sit on your bench and pay him a bunch of money for no reason. Then, like,
Yeah.
what's your alternative?
Yeah.
If I'm the Rams, how long Stafford got left? Go get Lance, have him sit behind Stafford. That's a good insurance policy. And now you got an heir apparent. There's definitely teams around the league that would benefit from having Trey Lance on their team.
Okay.
I do think there's options out there. And so I would make a trade if I was them. But if I'm San Francisco, I think Trey Lance has a higher ceiling than Brock Purdy. And so see how this offseason plays out. Because supposedly Trey Lance is looking really sharp.
Hey, I have a high ceiling too, but I haven't played in the NFL yet. But I have a high ceiling.
That's funny.
He hasn't proven himself, man. He barely played that much in college.
He's been injured.
He barely played that much in college. He's just
COVID.
I'm just saying he's an unproven guy.
I agree with you, but the talent is clearly there.
I don't know. And we're up at the NFL level.
He was talented enough that they were ready to ship Jimmy G out of San Francisco after making an NFC championship game, and they handed him the keys to the kingdom, and he broke his ankle. He's that
Jimmy
talented.
G. Jimmy G,
who were Super Bowl contenders, said, "No, we are upgrading at quarterback. We're going with Trey Lance."
I'm looking at the quarterbacks in the NFL.
I'm just saying that's talent.
I'm looking at the quarterbacks in the NFL, and he might be in the top 25.
But
I don't know.
What I'm saying, and you're saying that without him really playing. So, like, give him a chance.
But he's down there. He's down there at 25-ish. That's where he's at.
Yeah, but he has elite level. Like,
I know. I'm taking that into account with my 25 pick. I got Purdy in at around 30. I see Purdy around 30, and
Lance has better physical.
Lance maybe 25-ish. I mean, that's the kind of range we're talking here.
You're saying now, I think Trey Lance has top 10 ability if he can put it all together.
But either way, man, the 49ers are going to be there. They're going to be in this thing. 2017, Lynch and Shanahan inherited a team that was 2-14. And in the last 4 years, they've been to the NFC Championship 3 times and the Super Bowl once.
Crazy.
And they've had a ton of injuries, and they have still done it. Hey, let's talk about a team that has done pretty well, but just can't get over the hump team. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Now they got the Eagles up ahead of them. Eagles number 1 in the NFC East, number 1 in the NFC, and the Cowboys now have to look from behind at those Eagles. Will the Cowboys be able to contend and make that NFC Conference Championship this year? You think they can get there?
No, I don't think they can. There's a clear-cut top 2 here in the NFC. All right. They have not made an NFC Championship game in 27 years. It's insane to say that out loud.
Yeah, really. That is
27 years.
That's crazy.
1996. Like, holy crap, the Backstreet Boys were taking over the world. Like, what are we talking about here? It's embarrassing. Now, I do think they're the 3rd best team in the NFC, but that's a low bar. In the NFL, they're probably 10th, because the AFC is so stacked. The Eagles and Niners are just clearly the cream of the crop here. Now, the Cowboys might get lucky because of an easy schedule and win the division, but I would give that to the Eagles. If we're going to be betting men, so I don't think they get over the hump this year. And even if they get to the NFC Championship, no way they make a Super Bowl. Like, Eagles and Niners are head and shoulders above these guys. And let's not forget the most important factor of all this. Mike McCarthy's still the head coach there. He's
right.
Like, I can't believe they let freaking Sean go to Denver. Sean Payton, I mean, he was sitting there ready to be taken, and he's always wanted to coach Dallas. He's always flirted with that, and Sean Payton's now coaching in Denver. Can't believe they let him slip through the cracks there. Mike McCarthy's a horrible coach, and now he got rid of his offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore.
Yeah, what the heck?
Who They had a top offense in the league last year, and he's like, "Oh, we didn't have a good offense." Like, what? Like, what do you do? What do you do well, Mike McDaniels? I'm very concerned that they're being overhyped this year. Overhyped. Watch out, man. Teams regress all the time in the NFL. Just be careful.
Yeah, Kellen Moore. They let Kellen Moore go, and I understand Mike McCarthy's calling the plays. Oh my gosh, God help us. Kellen Moore had him in the top 10. I mean, in terms of offensive performance. So these guys were 12-5 last year.
Yeah.
12-5, but they got the Eagles sitting in front of them. And like you said, and also San Fran, they go 12-5. They go to the wild card game. They beat the heck out of Tampa in the wild card game. And Prescott threw for 300. And then they run into San Fran and they lose 19-12. They only score 12 points. Prescott only gets 200 yards. And their top running back, T-Money, in that San Fran playoff game, Zeke Elliott had 26 yards. That was their top rushing performance.
Yep.
So their offense fell apart against that 49er defense, man. How are they going to get past these guys?
I don't see a way. And that's why
they haven't done anything to change. They got Brandon Cooks. They brought Brandon Cooks in. What do you think of that?
I do like the move. I think he's a really, really good wide receiver too. I love their offense, but Dak is just too inconsistent for me. He's been
throwing a lot of interceptions lately.
I don't, and like this is the problem. I don't want to hate on Kirk Cousins. I think he is the 12th best quarterback in the league, the 10th best quarterback in the league. He's actually underrated in my opinion because of how consistent he is year to year. But Dak Prescott's career numbers are identical to Kirk Cousins. He just has better marketing. He just plays for the Dallas Cowboys. And he had an awesome rookie year. And everyone wants to talk about that 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But this isn't his rookie year. And that team was stacked because he was on a fourth round rookie contract. They don't have that anymore. And his passer rating, his yards per game, his completion percentage, all of that is identical to Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins was on the Cowboys, would we be talking about them as Super Bowl contenders? No. And that's why they are not the favorites in this NFC. And that's why we question whether they can even make a conference championship.
And they do have Micah Parsons on defense. Their defense was excellent. They have the defense and they have a lot of the offensive components to do this. The only way I see that they can make that conference title is to win the division and get that home field advantage.
Exactly.
If they can get the home field advantage, they were 8-1 at home last year. 8-1 at home. That's the only way I see them getting through this, if they can get the home field advantage.
You are 100% right there, G. It's a great point. You make the Niners and the Eagles play each other in the playoffs, be in the 2 and the 3 seed. So 100% agree. You might lose the Eagles games, but try to win every other damn game you can to get that division title. Great point.
G-Man impressing Team Money today. Watch out, everybody. Hey, hope you're loving the show. Press a like and subscribe, man. We love having you out here in the summer as we're rolling through the workouts, man. Team Money and I are staying slim and trim in the summer. Hey, if you're interested in sponsoring our next show, reach out to us, man. We'd appreciate your support, and we'd love to tell our fans about your company. Look for our segments and clips on all the social platforms, man. We're out there. Check out our website, FatherSonAndHolySport.com. On behalf of Team Money, I'm G-Man. See you next week.
Peace.